You are now listening to the No Shame Podcast with Jay and Titus. The No Shame Podcast with Jay and Titus is back, where we talk about the 3 P's like you already known or listened to. People out there in YouTube, peace, aloha, we love you. People out there in the podcast world, we love you too. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us here at the No Shame Podcast, where we talk about passion, purpose, and positivity, not in that order. And we believe that those 3 P's can affect our lives in the most positive and fantastic way ever. So if you believe in that, more power to you. But if you don't, we will inspire you to believe in that. Because if you do, your life will be very, very awesome. You know, having passion, living with purpose, always being positive. That's the way to go, you know? So, yeah, Titus, love the hat, homie. And
It's shark teeth.
Shark teeth. Oh, it is. Look at that. Podcast people, you can't see that. You have to go to our YouTube channel. Go check it out. Pretty dope sauce. Shark teeth.
Shout out to the information boys.
Information boys out there in Hawaii. You know, go check them out. Dope place to get some fits for your body. Looking all nice and fly. But today's episode is a pretty big episode, because this is a commodity that we all have, yet we somehow waste a lot of. And some of us don't know the importance of it. Some of us do. Those that do, they are living the life that they want and living a life without regret, because this is something you can never get back if you waste it. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know, you understand. But if you don't know, this commodity, this importance commodity that's way more priceless and, you know, important than money, all the money in the world, all the materialistic things, you know, something you can't get back. I think it was in the, what do you call that? Lord of the Rings, right? It was the Lord of the Rings, right? That riddle that, what's his name, told the Gollum. I'm totally lost for Frodo. Or Frodo. Was it Frodo? No. Yes, it was Frodo. No, it wasn't Frodo. It was the one before him. Remember, he was in the cave, and he was like, I need another riddle. Was it Lord of the Rings? No, it was the one before Lord of the Rings.
The Hobbit?
The Hobbit. It was in The Hobbit. How he got the ring. Remember, in the cave? I think it was in The Hobbits. Guys, if you know
man,
this,
I'm losing my fucking nerd card.
Yeah. If you guys know this, school us on it. You know, I'm pretty sure it was in The Hobbit, because he loses, he finds the ring from the Gollum in the cave, and then they're like, the Gollum is asking him.
No, it's got to be Lord of the Rings, man.
No, dude.
Gollum wasn't in The Hobbit.
He was in The Hobbit, dude. He was, bro.
I'm totally losing my fucking nerd card,
We're
bro.
both losing our nerd card
I've
right
read
now.
all 4 of these books. I've
that?
watched every movie probably like a dozen times.
No shamers. You gotta school us. You gotta make sure.
Cool, man.
Yeah, let us know if we're just messing up. We probably are, and we welcome it if we're messing up. If we're not getting the information correctly, tell us. You know, let us know on social media. Like, y'all messed up. Y'all need to go watch that shit again or
I gotta
something.
look it up, man. This is
Look
terrible.
it up. I think it is. It's The Hobbit, dude. Because the Gollum was in The Hobbit, man.
Okay, so we're gonna say riddle from Lord of the Rings.
No, it wasn't in Lord of the Rings, dude. It was in Lord of the Rings. Because Lord of the Rings they already created the people who would take the ring. This is before they get the ring.
Oh, it's the flashback,
Yeah.
but it is in Lord of the Rings.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure. Wikipedia says it's so it must be true. Oh no, it's the first Hobbit.
I told you.
First Hobbit.
I told you. First
What
hobbit.
has roots as nobody sees is taller than trees. Up, up it goes, and yet it never grows. A mountain. No, where's the third one? Uh,
We're looking it up on his phone, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for bearing with us right now. We just have to get into the whole we need the answers part because we're men. You know, that's what we do.
30 white horses on a red hill. First they champ, then they stamp, then they stand still. Answer, teeth.
No, there's one called time. Something
Okay,
about
let's look it
time,
up.
dude. Yeah, it's something about time.
Oh, came up in the Google search. Cliff
Boom.
Notes in The Hobbit.
Good old Doctor Google, Mister Know It All. Anything you do, just Google it. It's awesome.
Oh, right here.
Say it.
This thing all things devours. Birds, beasts, trees, flowers. Gnaws iron, bites steel. Grinds hard stone into meal. Slays kings, ruins towns, and beats mountain down.
What is it?
Time.
See? And it's in the Hobbit, right?
Yes,
Boom.
obviously Bilbo wins and Gollum misses out on a delicious meal.
Boom. Exactly. Boom. But yes, the episode is about time. Thanks for clarifying
What
that.
what a long-winded setup.
Yeah. Hey, that's what we do. We're just off the top of the head right now. Just go for what it is, and that's where it went. So that's awesome. All you Lord of the Rings fans and Hobbit fans, great, great trilogy, man. One of my favorites, I'd have to say. One of my favorite storylines too, and movies and all that stuff.
Shit, man, I went to go see all three of the first one midnight showing on a Thursday night back when the actual midnight showing was at midnight.
Look at that. Look at that. True fan over here. True fan.
Uh, I couldn't even remember about the riddles.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good.
Um, but yeah, we're gonna talk about wasting time. There is a quote I saw, and I want to share with you, by the man himself, Mr. Bruce Lee, and he says, "If you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made up of."
Hmm.
Let me repeat that. If you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made up of. Ain't that the truth? I don't know if it resonates with all of you, but definitely resonates hardcore in my, gray 3-pound matter within my head here, and my heart, and everything in my body, because once you start to value this time, what we call time, this commodity that we all seek to have more of, every single second is precious. Every single moment is something special, and I mean, we talk about this, Titus. I got a new baby now, baby Sage,
Hmm.
and every single second it's like she's growing in an exponential rate because she's doing something new every day. And I'm asking myself, what is going on? What am I missing out? I don't want to miss out on anything because it's just incredible to see her grow, right? And they always say, man, if you think time is going fast, just look at your kids if you have kids. You see them one day, they're a baby, the next day they're 18 going on their own. It's like, what the hell happened to all the time, right? So I think as entrepreneurs, as people, and we all live busy lives. We all have things to do. We always chase that time, and we feel like there's not enough of it. We're conditioned to think like, damn, I gotta work all my life just to retire at 65, and then I'm gonna have time to do all the things that I want to do. No, it doesn't have to be like that, right? You can do that right now. You just have to understand that time is the most important thing and you can't get it back. And if you realize that, man, you're going to be doing everything in your power to, make it so, right? I
Mm.
mean, that's why we started doing this. We started doing our companies. We started doing this podcast because we want to have more time with our family and friends. We want to, we're experience chasers, dream chasers. We collect memories. That's what counts. It's not about the money. We always say that, and I'm going to continue to say that. It's not about the money. It's
Hmm.
about service. It's about collecting those life experiences. So when you're on your deathbed, you can look back and be like, man, I lived. You know, I lived to the fullest. I went there and I grabbed a hold of time and just made it my own. You
Made time my bitch.
know? Yeah.
I mean, it's just a sequential set of moments, right? Like we live in this human experience, and a lot of us fall into the busy trap. We've all been guilty, and sometimes it's challenging to get out of this busy trap, especially if you're living in a huge metropolitan city and you got to worry about traffic and getting from A to B, get the kids to practice A so that the other kid can go to recital B. But really, when we look at time as a linear object, must place more value on the little things. The little things in life are truly a lot of the precious moments. And like, Jay is fathering a newborn. And I love that you use that as an example. And not just because you're living in it, up to your eyeballs, in fact, up to the top of your head. But when you talk about exponential growth, no better source to look at than little babies. And it is quick. Um, I mean, shit, my kid's 13 already. Holy crap, man. It's going to be in high school. It's mental. I feel like I
Wow.
just got out of high school.
I know, right? 13, man. Oh, yeah. My oldest is 8, going on freaking 18. I don't know, man. It's just, yeah, it's getting up there, you know?
But it's such a weird perceptional thing, right? Time, because like just to reference back to the high school point, like you felt like that 4 years was a motherfucking eternity, right? And like now, 4 years is relatively quick.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I think, age, the generation, or the time of period in our lives that we're in, you know, is a huge factor in that, right? As you get older, you get wiser, you understand how the world works, you understand how life works, you have a lot way more responsibility. You're not as carefree. We lose that inner child as we get older, right? And I think, and that's the reason why the power of now and living in the present moment is so important. Because when you look at children, time is doesn't exist.
Mm.
You look at them and they're kind of frozen in time because they're so caught up in the moment. But for us, even as entrepreneurs and the things that we want to do, and we're so caught up with this, rat race or jobs, or like you said, getting the kids ready and all this stuff. Like, we don't have that moment where we're just engulfed in the present, right? We're engulfed in that exact moment in time where you're kind of just one with everything,
Mm.
like Eckhart Tolle says, you're just one with nature, one with the universe. And that's when time doesn't exist, right? And we're chasing that all the time. And like you said, if you can step back and perceive it in a different way, I mean, you could really do some amazing things, you know?
Hmm.
I read this synopsis of this book from one of the podcasts I listened to, and it talks about how the author was interviewing, people on their deathbeds. She was a hospice nurse, and she wrote a book, and the book talked about her interviews with, some of her patients and the things that they talked about, and most of the things that people talked about was, they're regretting. They wish they had more time to do things that they wanted to do. You
I
know,
bet you they said more sex. I bet you that was number two.
more sex. Yeah,
Right? I can guarantee,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. But when you think about that, you put that into perspective. Like, do you want to be, that person, regretting on your deathbed about how there wasn't enough time? Maybe because you never got started. Maybe because you were fearful. Maybe because you were afraid of time. Or maybe you took it for granted because you thought that there's gonna be a lot of it. But like we said, one day it's 4 years in eternity. The next day you're 35 and you're like, whoa, 10 years went by quick. I'm having a, you know, crisis right now. You're hitting middle age. You're like, what the hell? You start going insane. When things start happening at a faster pace, right?
We can talk about midlife crises all you want, bro.
We'll save that for another episode for sure. Everybody goes through it, and I think it'll be a cool episode to share our experiences. We know we have no shame here, so it's I think cathartic for us to share. But we can do that another episode. It'll
Oh
be
yeah.
cool. Yeah, stay tuned for that little teaser right there. But yeah. So let me ask you, Titus. Do you continue to feel, or do you get in spots of uh, that type of feeling where time is running out? And if you do, what what do you do? What things do you do to keep you that perspective in mind, like to keep you on track and to keep that open perspective about time?
Well, currently, I really don't feel like time is running out, and I haven't felt that way in a while. Um,
Okay, let me rephrase my question.
Go
If you
ahead.
haven't felt that in a while, what changed? What happened for you to feel that now?
Speaking of midlife crisis, when you hit bottom, you learn to appreciate everything,
Mm-hmm.
especially the relationships that you have, right? So that all relates into time because Father Time, undefeated. That guy
Undefeated.
always wins. So I place a lot more value into important relationships in my life. And that's how I translate it into, looking at this undefeated beast and understanding that every moment is precious. So you got to make the most of it at every turn, every corner, every decision, every phone call, text message, Facebook post, Instagram comment, because it matters.
Mm-hmm.
All of it matters. Like, relationships with friends, family. It's at the core of our being as humans.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. We're meant to be social creatures,
Right.
and without having that social connection, you can definitely run out of time.
Real quick.
Real quick.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the worst place to be, I think. When you don't put any value in creating those relationships. You know, you're just gonna be alone, and to be alone and run out of time, gosh,
Mm.
that just sounds so depressing, you know? And it's sad that there's a lot of people that do that, you know? They don't want to change, they don't want to make themselves better, and yet they're wasting all this time, and then they're the ones complaining about how they want to do more things at the last second,
Mm.
you know? Um, I honestly, don't want to be there. You know, I don't want to do that. Like I told you, I want to be the person that looks back and says, "Damn, I did some shit in my life." you know, I left a legacy. Every relationship that I got to people, like I was a positive um, effect in their lives some way, somehow. You know, I've helped as much people as I can, and that's it. That's what going into that realm of spirituality and heaven is all about, right? You leave behind all the stuff that you've all wanted to do, because we get one life, right? And creating those relationships with people, I think, is very important. And with you, Titus, when you say you changed your mindset about being grateful for every relationship that you have, that
Hmm.
puts a lot of intention in the things that you do when you do communicate with your friends or your family, or put up a comment on their post. It's done with intention. And if you have that, I don't think you will never feel like your time is wasted.
Hmm.
You feel like, you made a difference, or you want to do that because you want that person to feel good, or know that you're there, know that you're thinking about them or caring about them, or whatever it is.
Hmm.
you know and time kind of just disappears at that point, because it's all about the feeling you get right after. So
All about the feels, huh?
it's all about the feels, man. Time gives you the feels. You can look back, you can look forward, you can forecast, you know and it's always gonna be there. It's always gonna tell you. Time tells, time heals, right? This too
Now,
shall pass.
what if time isn't linear?
Ooh, we can go in a whole different, you know,
No,
crazy
really, what if
cosmic.
time isn't linear?
Oh wow! If time wasn't linear, man, we'd be traveling all sorts of directions. There's a lot of way more possibilities in that sense. Um, I think we should do a podcast about that too. The
Yeah,
infinite possibilities of space with no time. So
I call it jumping into a float tank.
there you go. Jumping into a float tank. Shout out to Discover Float Hawaii out there in Hilo. Just want to give a shout out to that.
And Dream
Um,
Float Away in Honolulu.
Dream Float Hawaii and Honolulu as well. If you want to float in Hawaii, go to any of those places. Tell them, you heard it there, here, the No Shame podcast to hook you up. You know, um, but yes,
But isn't it trippy how when you go in the tank, there is no time?
there is no time. No, it's trippy.
Like it completely fizzles out and disappears.
Mm-hmm.
But you know you're only in there for 90 minutes.
Right.
It's always a shocking moment when I get woken up
Mm-hmm.
or I get pulled out of whatever trance I was in.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. For those of you who haven't tried it, we highly recommend you doing it, and
Oh,
you will come out a brand new person.
game changer.
Game changer. It's like meditation to the next level. I feel like that when I meditate, but when I'm in the tank, there's no senses, right? You're totally in a no, weightless environment, and like he says, time just goes away. Imagine all the possibilities and thoughts that you can think of in that space, infinite space. Come on now.
Man, if we had thought recorders,
Oh, it's coming, bro.
like
It's
you could
coming.
hook up, it's coming. Like you could hook up some sort of sensors to your head, and then it'll just digitally print outside of the tank everything you were thinking about in 90 minutes or 2 hours or whatever opportunity you get.
Bro,
Even 60 minutes. Oh my God, that would be like 75,000 pages.
for real. For real. All the visuals. Oh my goodness.
Ugh.
It'd be so crazy. But that technology is coming. I have a feeling within the next 2 to 5 years. You know, it's coming, bro. It's coming. But yeah. So, is there anything you do personally to, and besides, like, being grateful? Is there anything else you do to, make every moment count?
Mm. Staying connected to your breath,
Mm,
whether it's a normal lung type of breath or it's like a deep gut type of breath, because that breath is a gift. And that's one gift that, again, can be taken away at any moment. Yeah, man. That's really my trick is in any time of stress or worry, doubt, fear, you just stay connected to the breath.
yeah. Yeah. I'll never forget what our friend at Dream Float said about the breath. Every breath is a brand new moment.
Mm,
You're re-energizing your body with this brand new life, and every breath can be something brand new, right?
mm,
Mr. Jeff Sato in our one of our other episodes about floating, he said it so eloquently. And you know, if you come down to that point where you are focusing on your breath, because every breath can be every single moment. It gives you life. It gives you a new perspective. It re-energizes your body. I mean, it does everything for you. And if you can understand that, ooh, man, that's some thunder right there. Was that thunder?
bro. Yeah, that was thunder.
Wow. Hawaii is experiencing some thunder right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's pounding. It's
Yeah.
freaking pounding, man.
Wow. That's crazy. But yeah, sorry about that. I was just sidetracked because I could hear it through my earphones.
Oh,
Like,
ADD,
whoa,
boom.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, the breath, the breath of life, and how it's related to time. You know, uh, yeah, every single second counts. For me personally, when I feel like I'm running out of time, I try to put perspective into everything that I do as well. I try to do it with purpose. There is a purpose for the things that you do. you know Besides of having the mindfulness piece into play, it's like I ask myself, why am I doing this at this moment in time? How is it affecting me positively right now and for the future? So when I ask myself those questions, I could be doing something, for the business, or with my family, and my daughter or whatever. It matters, like you said, everything matters, right? And when it does matter to that, you know, level, then yes, you're gonna come to a point where that time is gonna be worth every single second, you know, and you want to just stay in the moment as long as you can, right? And be grateful for that moment, because you never know where things can just flip upside down, you know, or Mother Nature goes haywire, or things can fall apart. It's shit can happen. Shit happens.
Shit happens.
Shit happens. So, yeah, let us know what you guys do out there in the no shame world. How to not waste time. What are your techniques? What are your tactics? What are your strategies on how to take advantage of every moment that you have. You know, yeah, text us, comment, tell us what you do, and we'd love to hear about it. You know what we do, so we'd love to hear what you guys do, and we'll sometimes, we like to share it too, share it with everyone else. We're generous about sharing the knowledge, and we learn from each other, so that's what we do. Titus, is there any ending remarks on this beautiful quote by Mr. Bruce Lee before I repeat it for our audience?
Repeat it one more time, and I'll leave some closing remarks.
If you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made up of.
As human beings, we're just going through this entire experience as a series of fortunate events. Count your blessings, and don't look at time as a negative piece in your life. Change your mindset and appreciate everything that you have in every moment, every second.
Well said, my friend. Appreciate every second. Surround yourself with loved ones and take advantage of this time. It is not an obstacle. It can work with you. You just have to change the way you think about it, and great things will come. So don't waste time. Use time. Live in the moment and go forth and be great, because you are great. Understand that. And with that, much aloha and stay tuned. Once again, thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Shoots.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the No Shame Podcast. We really appreciate you for doing that. Please like, subscribe, and follow all of our social media handles, and rate us on iTunes. It would really help us a lot. And we promise to keep bringing you valuable content. Thanks again, and aloha.